Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is training day, time management, 11 a.m. today. That's just 3 hours from now, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to teach how to bend time, how to utilize productivity, accessibility, and of course, gratitude to find the light, the love, and the lessons to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Joshua, welcome. Jake, welcome. Courtney, welcome. Good to see you. I got to see Samir down there. We had a great conversation about you. Great to see you. Colleen, welcome. Going to see you soon as well. Friday training is 3 hours from now, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We had a heck of a week, haven't we? Let's get some questions rolling as we are moving into Friday, into the weekend. And there is that question that I love. What was the best lesson from the week? I'll tell you, I learned a lesson in office hours. People like hard. They don't like long. So if you can give them something with a shorter amount of time span and really go at it instead of a lengthy, I'd rather have a 10-minute workout than a 1 hour jog, a real tough 10-minute workout. Some tips for public speaking. Practice. Ricky Mendez. Sorry I won't see you today, man. That was disappointing. But you are welcome down to the studio anytime you want, my friend. But practice. The best tip for public speaking. Get as many stages, virtual and real, that you can. Tell your stories and teach your lessons, but practice. If you can't bring it like you're just clapping, if you can't bring it with the clarity, balance, and focus and confidence that you are just stepping on stage and clapping, then you're not there yet. So make sure you practice. Too many people, they fake it, and they are not confident. They are not clear. And look at all these questions. Favorite Halloween costume was in New Orleans during law school. Somebody was Dr. Jekyll and Heidi Fleiss and had both of those characters split right down the middle. Very clever. Team David Meltzer decides to show up once again. That's good for us, right? They're going to pin right here, david@dmeltzer.com. That's where we get the exercises, guides. Join the training for free. Watch the replays on Spotify. Featured there. There's a playlist on my trainings on Spotify, featured there. Entrepreneur were featured, the playbook, all the different platforms you can find us. But get your exercises, guides. Get my book for free. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We also have a text community, 949-298-2905. It's pinned right here below. I can see it myself. Welcome, everybody. Let's keep these questions coming. Today's training topic, if you didn't hear, is time management. I am going to give you the greatest gift of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude by understanding how to utilize time. You know how you live longer? Utilize time better. How do you live longer? Utilize time better. You may be 100 years old, but if you're sitting around high, sick, and broke on your mom's couch, what good is it? They're 60 years old that live so much fuller, passionate, purposeful, and profitable in 60 years than others hanging out on their mom's couch for 100. Let's do both. I'm going to keep it the longevity, the productivity. Best lesson you've learned from Julie. That I don't know what I don't know. To take stock in myself, take inventory of my values, that I don't know what I don't know. Don't be afraid to be a hypocrite. Learn your lessons. Stop and smell the roses is another one that I've learned from Julie, and I continue to learn from Julie. What lesson has cost you the most to learn? You're the costly lesson to learn. Employees and overhead are the biggest test to me, finding a balance of caring so much about my employees and then not being offended or hurt that they lie to you, cheat to you, and manipulate you, oversell you, and back-end sell you in the context or in the intention of that they love you and care about you. That's the most difficult thing I have to do. At Craig Siegel is here. All right, let's make it happen. Here we go. I don't see Craig Siegel. Where are you at, Craig? Let me see here. There he is. He's here. How about that? All right. Cultivate lasting symphony on the edge. It's absolute fire. My friend, there he is.
There he is.
Oh, somebody finally come with some energy.
Long time no see.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing, and I'm so grateful and excited to see you not once but twice in this week. It's like a mixture of Hanukkah and Christmas. I'm ready for you.
I love that analogy. I've never been described as a mixture of Hanukkah and Christmas, so that's awesome. I had Oh my gosh, now I'm losing my mind. Dean Graziosi yesterday on my office hours, and he brought it like you brought it, man. I love people that come on here and show a little bit of life. Is that your dad or your brother, Mark Siegel?
That's my brother Mark.
Yeah, your brother. Right
My
on.
best friend in the entire world. Love that guy with all my heart.
Oh my gosh, I feel the same way about my two brothers as well. Unfortunately, they probably don't feel the same way about me. Oh well, that's one of my brothers, a rabbi. He's amazing. Hey, I want to talk about your new podcast, the CLS Experience, and your coaching program. You know, there's so many podcasts, so many coaching programs, but there's so many people, and everybody has their own frequency, their own situational knowledge and experience. What makes, speaking of experience, the CLS Experience unique to your frequency? And what's unique with your frequency and the coaching that is, kind of transcendental or transitioning from that experience?
I thought you'd never ask. So what separates the CLS experience from anything else out there on the planet right now? Number one, I think the energy is a given, but the whole purpose of the show is to have big, recognizable names like yours truly, Big Bad Dave Meltzer, on, and not just talk about all their success, because a lot of people, the celebrities, the big names, Hollywood athletes and all that and so forth, a lot of people know about their success. That's why they're well known. What I like to do is dive deep into the adversity that they had when they were coming up, because let's face it, everybody has a story. No one's exempt from that. And even just the other day, when we had you on and you're talking about, listen, you've had the highest of highs, you've had the lowest of lows, and that's what shaped you. You don't shy away from that. And the whole purpose of this show is, I like to say, it's not a show, it's an experience. We dive deep and we talk about all the obstacles, all the hurdles that we had to overcome when we were at rock bottom, what made us ricochet off and bounce back even higher. Because the reality is all these types of issues that we face, it is what shapes us, and it is what helps us grow and evolve. And sometimes it's those stories that the rest of the world isn't privy to, because they only see the lights and the glamour. We like to dive deep and find out what the mindset was. What was the mentality? How did you bounce off rock bottom? What was your first step? What action did you take? And what really helped you? And that's really the point of the show, is to provide value, because everybody's going through something at some point, specifically now in this pandemic. And everybody can use some insightful tips, and just to see what other greats and legends like yourself, Dave, how you did it, what your thought process was to get back and then better than ever. And I think that's what's so special, is because we really get to touch on a very vulnerable side.
Yeah, and I love that. The three things that I saw that you accelerate in is, one, obviously energy. You can't sit still, which I love about you, man. You and I are going to blow up this screen. We're so powerful. Two is the stories, right? You're getting to different stories with, celebrities, athletes, entertainers, billionaires, millionaires, as you call them, these celebrities or influencers. And then the other part is the lessons, right? If you're not teaching lessons, then your podcast or your book or your radio show or your article, to me, is worthless, right? If I'm not going to learn something. And so I got a quick question for you. I came on this week. What was the biggest lesson you learned when I came on your podcast?
That's such a great question, because there's so many lessons. And Dave, I told you personally, I love to tell the world, you're my silent mentor. You may not know it, but your story is so relatable to me and so touching. And everything about you, I just absolutely love. And, you're very humble, you're changing the world, and just your delivery is so special. And some of the lessons that I can't wait for the audience to see when we do drop the episode is, number one, your state of mind when you were at rock bottom, right? When you were going through, when it felt like the walls are caving in. And I think this is public knowledge, so I'm sure you won't mind, but when you were going through the stuff with the money issues, obviously your wife and so forth. And then you had that moment where you saw your pop's jacket in the closet, and it was like a beacon of hope. And it was like you saw the light, and you realized that at the end of the day, we're all on borrowed time. And I know that sounds, I hate to say it, but at some point it's all over for us. And you have to make a decision. Are you going to provide value? Are you going to make a difference in this world? Because everybody can make money. You can put together strategies. You know this better than anybody. Money doesn't fulfill you. What fulfills you is touching people's lives and really helping them get that fire back and find that passion. And I know you started to turn the corner before you're, I guess, the height of all your struggles and issues. And that's so beautiful. And I love that. And another thing that you said that really touched me, because this was me a few years ago, and it still is me. And if you notice, I don't stop asking you questions. You said, be interested over interesting. And what Dave means by that to the audience is ask a million questions. Let the mentor throw you out of the room. And when I was starting my NLP, and even when I was on Wall Street, I remember they used to have to throw me out of the room. Just one more question. I would keep asking. I wanted to be a sponge, because that's how you learn and that's how you grow. And a lot of people think that it's all about charisma and you have to put on a performance. And don't get me wrong, I do like to deliver and perform, but for me, it's anything that I can get from you, which is just a ton of knowledge and wisdom. That's what does it for me. And I love that, you have no ego at this stage of your life. You're always wanting to learn. You always want to get better. And that really touched me because I find it so relatable.
Yeah, that reconciliation right there, what I found so interesting, I always say, make yourself equal, then make yourself different. Appreciate the difference of what you do. And one of the things that I found with you is, and it's cemented by the fact that your brother is your best friend. Anybody who tells me their mom, their dad, their brother are their best friends are at least practicing the ego, because within the context of those intimate relationships that we're born into, forced upon us, that it takes someone that's on the journey of understanding the three components of ego, because ego will edge goodness out of your life, EGO. The E to me stands for employment status. So for you, you started off like me in a journey of employment status on Wall Street. You wanted to have that, your Jewish mom telling everybody that my boy's the big time Wall Street broker, whatever it is. And then two, what you get out of it, right? We both went on this journey of, man, we want to be rich. We want to make as much money as we can. That's going to prove to everybody my greatness, that G. And then the worst part, which is to me that reconciliation and the recognizable, the recollect and the remembrance of your non-ego being, your higher self, is the fact that you have learned not to care what the O means. And O means what other people think of you. Because if you have your closest friend, be your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, some relationship that we were born into, you have resolved the issue of trying to impress people with what you have or what you need or who you don't even like, whoever those others are that we seek approval, because it's impossible to have that relationship with the closest people that we're born into if we really care what they think, if it hurts our feelings, because those are the people usually that tell us the truth because they know the truth about us. They can bring up all the different things and they force us, like my best friend Rob did, like my wife did, like my mom did, like my dad did. All of those people force me to say, hey, you're not taking stock in who you are. You're not living to your potential and you are not happy. You're pretending. You're an imposter. You're living as a fraud. What's the most difficult thing for you to maintain that practice of ending fear or ego in your life so you can increase that relationship with Mark and your parents and all those other people out there that other people truly destroy their lives over?
It's such a powerful question, Dave. And the answer for me is, more specifically, when I really started CLS and I really realized that I'm going all in on this because this is my passion. Most importantly, it's my purpose. And I had the mindset, and I do right now as I speak to you, is this is going to sound a little deep, and I hope it doesn't come across the wrong way, but now that I found what I'm supposed to do and I see the light come on in people's eyes and the fire come back when I coach them, I would rather die than go back and do something that I'm not passionate about and just exist. Because here in life, we're all eventually going to fail at something. If you live life, if you just coast, then maybe you won't fail too much, but you probably won't succeed as much. But if you take shots, if you really live, you're going to have obstacles. So my thought process, Dave, is this. You're going to fail at something you don't like. You might as well fail at something you actually love. And here's the kicker. Maybe you'll fly. And I just take that mentality. It's like life is so short and you have to find your purpose. You have to wake up excited every day into a triple backflip, into a split. I'm only being half serious about that. But the truth is you got to wake up with passion, excitement. And now that I found it, and by collaborating with juggernauts like you, Dave, and I see you and just the space that we're in now, this is what it's all about, trying to help people, trying to reach it. And as cliche as it sounds, try to make the world a better place. And to go do something that doesn't serve value, like you said earlier in the conversation, to me, is a waste of life.
Yeah, what's interesting is I'm going to end it on here, Craig, because you're an incredible guest, an incredible source of light, love, and lessons for everyone. Don't forget that what Craig is displaying here, even if they forced him, like Viktor Frankl, The Meaning of Life, if they forced you back onto Wall Street, believe it or not, you would find the light, the love, and the lessons. You would enjoy it. You would be able to learn to love everything that you do. You would bring the passion in a different way because you know the freedom of the mindset and the heart set that you've now created for yourself. And I want to tell everyone out there when they say, oh, I had to go back, you want. First of all, you're not going back because you don't have to, and you only do what you want to do. That's what manifestation is about. But two, if you were forced to go back, like a Viktor Frankl, taking off of his own profession back into a literal hell, you would find the light, the love, and the lessons in your fish head soup and dirty water, like he was able to do, able to find that love, that light, and those lessons. Real quickly, what's the best piece of advice that you have for today? I'm doing a training in about 2 hours and 45 minutes on time management. You have a piece of advice that you could share with everyone. I know you have a great experience podcast as well as you're coaching yourself. Give us your nugget for the day.
So it's a great question. And this is the first thing I start out with my program, the Moonshot Masterpiece Experience. It's before we move forward, we have to start with structure. You have to have a game plan for your day, because if you don't, you're going to end up waking up and just going rogue and freestyling. And we know how that goes. It leads to procrastination. So to answer your question, David, and this is so important for everybody watching, the best way to remove procrastination, the best way for time management is to literally have structure and a routine in your day. And what this does is it eliminates the thinking aspect of it. You don't have to think now because, when you wake up, you eat something, you work out, you check emails, you talk to Dave, you watch his content, and then you start work or whatever the case may be, whatever works for you. But have a blueprint, have a strategy. Don't go rogue.
I love it, man. You got to have a routine and an adaptive routine. Check out at Craig Siegel _CLS. Where else can they find you, Craig?
So obviously Instagram, the YouTube channel, Craig Siegel, and also website cultivatelastingsymphony.com. And a lot of exciting stuff to come. The CLS Experience podcast dropping very soon with my personal favorite guest so far, Big Bad David Meltzer, who's an icon. He's my mentor. I love him to death. For my audience that's watching, should you check out Dave's content? The answer is absolutely. He's changing the world. He's humble. He's a great heart. And I just love the guy so much.
Oh, man. And you can come on anytime. Kind words will get you everywhere. And I want to thank your brother, Mark, as well. You made my day having him come on and support you. Thank you, Mark, for coming on. Craig Siegel, check him out, the CLS Experience. We're going to drop that. It's one of the best interviews that I've had. Highest energy levels, you can tell. We're exploding off the screen.
Thank
Have a
you
great
so much,
weekend,
Dave.
my friend. I can't wait to see you in person.
We'll collaborate again soon. Love you, Dave. Have a great weekend.
Anytime. All you got to do is ask. Ask big and ask often, okay?
I will. And I'll take you up on that.
Good. Thanks, brother. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Craig Siegel, the CLS Experience. It's energy. Like what we're talking about has been talked about. You saw Bob Proctor come across the notations there and been a mentor of mine. And I have reverberated and reconciled so many great ideas from Bob, who then has recollected and remembered those from Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich and Carnegie and Covey and others. And look, these ideas started with Sanskrit, the 12 rules of Sanskrit. If anybody wants those, go ahead, email me. I will send you the 12 basic laws of the universe written in Sanskrit thousands and thousands of years ago. And it starts with, you will be given a body. I'll give you a hint. But david@dmeltzer.com, same place that you join us for our free trainings every Friday, which will be in about 2 hours and 40 minutes at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the trainings because it's Friday, midday, I get it. That's why hundreds of thousands of people are going to Spotify, and featured there are a playlist of all my trainings. And if you go through one and you like it and you want the exercises, guides, or my books for free, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want some notifications and some communications via text, I'm a big text guy, 949-298-2905. Let's keep the questions coming. It's Friday, and there's so much energy on a Friday. I cannot stand it. Yes, I cannot stand it. Let's see here. Let's get into questions. Which skill do you think is essential in life? Kindness. Kindness. kindness over everything. If you just say to yourself, what would a kind person do? You'll end up in the right place. I'll pick that trash up. I'll put the grocery cart back. I'll smile at that person. I'll forgive them. I'll be accountable. I'll be gracious. Just the greatest skill set I have. If I'm going to leave a legacy behind, if someone would ask me, what do I want someone to say about me when I'm gone? David was kind. David was kind. 3 words. That's it. The beloved servant, David Meltzer. My first name means beloved. My last name means waiter or servant. The beloved servant was kind. David was kind. That's all. Easy skill. Easy skill. Just ask yourself. Hard to execute on, but easy skill to develop. What would you recommend to someone that wants to become a big but is shy? Oh, wants to build a big brand but is shy? Practice on promoting yourself via in-person, on the phone, via email and media, radio, print, TV, social media. Maybe make your brand about being shy. Maybe make your expertise about other people like you that are shy and how to build a brand if you're shy. There's so many things. Lean into who you are, your frequency. Don't forget the Dr. Pimple Popper, right? Who would ever have thought that Dr. Pimple Popper would have more subscribers on YouTube than the entire Pro Football Hall of Fame? How could that be? But she does, because she leaned into who she was. Her frequency with the 4.4 billion people out there and growing, lean into who you are. If shy is your brand, then shy is your brand. Teach people how to build a brand while being shy, how to be big while being shy. Lean into who you are. Don't try to pretend. Don't try to seek approval from others. Be who you are. There are tons of people that are just like you or resonate with you or need your help to be like you and to expand and grow and to accelerate. Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. You got it. Thank you, baby boomer. I have a problem of waking up out of my sleep crying. And I try to stay mindful, to stay positive, but I have a hard time. Okay, first of all, you got to warm up to your sleep. You got to warm up to your sleep. 8 hours. It doesn't just happen. If I ask you to go work out with me for 8 hours, you're going to warm up. Let me explain to you what a warm up to sleep is. It's a wind down routine. We got to practice canceling all the negative thoughts and energy. We got to clear our mind. We got to have no caffeine, no alcohol. We got to clear out that subconscious and unconscious. We have to practice sleep. We got to get a sleep coach. We got to make sure we're doing research on what temperature is good for us, hard or soft pillows and beds and blankets, weighted blankets, all types of different techniques. Go ahead, be more interested than interesting on one of the most crucial habits you have, which is sleep. It's the number one habit that we all share, and we spend the most time doing it, but yet nobody studies it. I study sleep every day. My tomorrow starts today at 9 p.m. My tomorrow will start today at 9 p.m. How do I figure out specifically what I want to do in life? Start doing something and learn. Just remember, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, at the right place at the perfect time. What we do is we start doing something, we angle towards what we think we want and have faith that we'll end up somewhere better. As long as we are learning, understanding that pain is an indicator, not a stop sign. So when we take action, we receive pain, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, financial pain. It's not a stop sign, right? That's why 99% of the people quit before they're 25% of the way there. Not a stop sign. It's simply a turn signal, an indicator to move in a better direction, a better place. But you're not going to do that unless you learn the lessons. In that Transcript, which you can email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll give you the 12 basic rules that were written thousands and thousands of years ago. It says life is about lessons. The lessons will keep on coming until you learn them. They will result in pain if you haven't learned them. So once you learn them, the pain will go away. Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional pain will go away. Diana, are you here, my friend? I am looking to see my favorite CEO and co-founder of the Health Age Kombucha. I love kombucha. I got to get some of that stuff out to my office. Do we have Jakey Bakey Diane here? Is she here? Let me look into my puzzle. I'm looking at my kombucha friends. All right, I'll take another question as I wait for Diana to come out. Anybody, go ahead, give me a thumbs up if you like kombucha. That's a big popular thing. What age did you become successful? Wow, what age? I've become successful when I was very, very young at certain things. It depends on what my objectives were, my potential were. So I was successful at eating baby food when I was a baby. So look, successful is just enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. And that's what I want you to realize. That passion, purpose, and profitability comes from learning the light, the love, and the lessons by being consistent. That's truly where it comes from. So what you want to do is have that experience, whether you're 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 52 like me. I'm still working on success of each of the objectives by taking inventory of my values every day and knowing what I want, figuring out who and how to get there. Notice I said who, because in order to get there, I find people that are where I want to be, and then I ask them for directions. That's the easiest way to get somewhere. I don't have to try to figure it out and explore the labyrinth of life by myself. I can simply just ask for directions. Someone that's already has the key sheet, the answer sheet, is my internal and external GPS. Let's go ahead and answer some more questions. I'm a little thirsty for kombucha, and I can't find Diane. Diana Trout, my friend, is here from Health Aid Kombucha. It's been a while since I saw her. Should I be afraid in college to change my major if another major is calling me? Absolutely not. But I'm also a both person. There's no problem in having a double major, and you don't want to give away what you already achieved. Why not push yourself, expand and grow, accelerate to what you're doing? But you absolutely, a major is a minor in life. Go ahead, do both, and please experience what you want to experience. I'm going to give a couple more minutes here. In about 2 hours and a half, we're going to do training on time management. I'm going to teach you how to live longer. That's right. I'm going to teach you how to live longer with passion, purpose, and profitability. And that's what we do by bending time and utilizing time correctly. You will actually live longer. Why? Because you'll be more productive, more accessible, and more gracious with your time. You may, in quantum man-made construct years, not live as long as other people, but I'm going to teach you how to not only in that realm live longer, but with productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, be able to experience an unbelievable life. I lived 10 years and 9 months when I first got out of law school. It's amazing when you live 10 years and 9 months, when you're able to live 10 years and 9 months, how far ahead you can get in life, how many mistakes you can make and learn from those and rebound from those. We'll take another question here. We'll have to reschedule with Diana, but if you guys haven't checked out, she's the CEO and co-founder of Health Aid Kombucha, really good friends of mine. I'm a big fan of gut health, and obviously kombucha helps with that as well. What? No, is that Eric Bigger? I see you there, my friend. If you haven't checked out at Eric Bigger, oh, there she is. Diana's here. Hi. Just one Eric Bigger. See, Eric Bigger is good luck. He's my favorite bachelor next to Bob the Bachelor. Thank you for joining, Diana. And thank you for joining. Hi. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? I'm sorry I had me on for 8:30. Was the time not right?
No, you know, your time was absolutely right. So don't worry about it at all. You have grown your business so much. You'll enjoy when you have the wrong times on my side. There's nothing like having employees in overhead. Anyway, you have been killing it. I don't know if you remember coming to my office here. I don't even know.
Of course I remember. I was 2 days away from having a baby.
Yeah, I was just about to say. So just to put some time, since I'm doing a time management, a bending time training in about 2 hours and 20 minutes. How old is your baby now?
So I have 2 kids. So the one that I had just a few days after seeing you is now 1. So it was about a year ago.
A lot has changed in a year.
Yeah, I know. Wow. We had no idea what was coming.
That's beautiful. Well, I'm going to ask you an important question about that year. What's the number one lesson you've learned in business over this last year since I last saw you?
Number one lesson. Boy, we can handle a lot. Yeah, probably, yeah, we can handle a lot.
Yeah, you guys have over 200 employees now?
We have close to, yeah, I mean, we made some manufacturing, like equipment upgrades. So we're now like around 150. And yeah, so yeah, about 42,000 stores now.
Fastest growing refrigerated brand in a space that I love, because I was talking about gut health And for those of you that aren't familiar with kombucha, it's an extremely healthy beverage, but also very tasty. And I also think texturally is satisfying. You know,
Yeah.
one of the things I like about soda in itself is I just love the feel of it in my mouth. And kombucha has a unique feel as well. Looking as a female CEO as well, you're an icon to so many entrepreneurs. I'm blessed to coach so many executives like yourself, but also up and coming entrepreneurs who want to be like you. What are you doing to mentor internally in your company? Especially, I know you don't care if it's men or women, but I would assume that a lot of women gravitate to you. I know my three daughters have kept their eye on your career over the last year as well, and they always pick out my favorite guests and tell me, Dad, can I go intern there, or can we meet her? What are the issues that you're seeing for young women inside your company that are their concerns about being an executive or an entrepreneur like you? What are the new challenges, because they have changed, especially in the last year?
Yeah. You know, yeah, so to answer your question about mentorship, I carve out time to help anybody that's starting a business or wants to start a business. And, you know, I'll usually spend my first half hour of the day and my last half hour of the day talking to, you know, aspiring entrepreneurs, many of them often women, just to help them sort of, just to be a sounding board. I don't really have any answers for them, but, you know, usually I'll just listen and help them sort of see that they're right on the right track, and it's just a matter of getting out and doing it. And that's usually the biggest hurdle, is that, you know, the confidence it takes to actually go out there and play the game. But, you know, and internally, I try to cultivate strength and development in each of the employees. Like, EQ and IQ programming throughout the year. So we might have like learnings on things like Excel, which is like pretty linear, but then we'll also have, like today we have a workshop called Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow, which is of course based on that awesome book, which helps you sort of think through the two ways that human beings think, you know, rationally, emotionally. And once you sort of master, you know, which one you sort of, you reveal a blind spot, perhaps you can like learn how to think stronger and become a stronger leader. Anyway, so things like this we do internally to try to like help develop people. You're certainly not on your own at our company. But the issue, you know, the second question about the issues I've seen that have sort of come up this year, it's been really interesting, is the impact of COVID on business, I think, has evolved. In particular, I think it's been really challenging for parents. It's been challenging for everyone. So I don't mean to take something from those that aren't parents, but in particular, because of the school thing, you know, they're no longer going to school. It now has put an intense and impossible burden on parents. And for whatever reason, a lot of times moms end up taking that burden. I don't know why that is. It's not always true, and it's not a necessity, but it is sometimes what happens. So the employer now has this new sort of responsibility, or like, I guess you could also look at it as a privilege, to try to help solve for the realities that your employees are in. I mean, half my employees are parents, and they're trying to, you know, balance work and home, and it's just become really, really hard. And so when you think about the executive level, or like moving up in the company, it's just like not even on their radar, because they've just got too many things to handle. And that's been really interesting to sort of like observe and try to like, you know, obviously have compassion for, but also I'm trying really hard to think of ways that we can still encourage growth and development in career. But also like try to do that in a way that isn't, you know, because people can't do everything. So it's been challenging in that regard, and I really can't wait for kids to go back to school. I think everybody seconds that.
Oh yeah, I sent my two in college back. They're like, Dad, we can go online. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. You go online back at school. You need to hang out with your friends and go ahead and quarantine all of yourselves together. I see one of my college buddies, Trevor Moad, talk about mindset and living my life in neutral like Russell Wilson. And congratulations, Trevor, because your boy is killing it, by the way. Anyway, lying to ourselves. You're sitting there and you remind me of myself. You have this incredible weighted balance in your life. You have two young children. You have this extraordinary business growing, parallels a lot of the experience that I've been blessed in my life. And one of the lessons that I've learned during COVID, as I traveled last year 200 days and experienced exponential growth and acceleration, personally and professionally, bragging to everybody and coaching everybody how you can have weighted balance. And, I was maximizing my potential as a husband and as a father, and I was this terrific person. And everybody was, spending money on me to learn how I balance everything. And I get into COVID and I'm like, I am such a hypocrite because I could have got so much more out of my family. And I, once again, didn't know what I didn't know. And I have to always internalize the fact that, look, you're just compensating and projecting what you know is not to be true. It's impossible to be the best dad and the best husband you can be if you have a growing business at the rate that you have growing, or a growing brand like I have. It's just impossible. So what mindset do we take when we realize that we're hypocrites, that we're doing the best we can? And yes, we are happy, right? We are
Yeah.
happy, but there's no doubt that I could be a better father and I could be a better husband. And I'm balancing, my own personal interest in the name of it's for my family. Look, I never have to work again. I have to be honest. I don't have to work. If this was for my family, I would just sit at home with my family, right? And clean the house myself, not have a maid, take care of my kids all day long, teach them myself, homeschool. I'm lying to myself. What are some of the things that you do to compensate for that balancing in your mind to say, you know what, this is worth it still. I should be this weighted balance, but I know I can improve.
Yeah. Well, I do think, back to the sort of the question about women that you asked me before, even though I think this can be a problem for everyone, in particular, this balancing act is, I observe is a particular issue for women, and I'm not exactly sure why. But yeah, you can't, I always say to my employees, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And if you set yourself up for the expectation that you can be a great mom, a great wife, a great self-care person, and a great CEO, all in one day, you're just setting yourself up for real sadness and disappointment, especially if you're an achiever, because it is an impossible thing to do. So the first thing I think you have to do is manage your expectations. When you are running a business, when your kids are not going to school and they're working from home, when you do have all these extra responsibilities, you simply have to recognize, like, what is a reasonable expectation of yourself in this moment with all of these things? And yeah, you do your best. You do your best. And so it's not, though, a passive thing. I think that's like sort of the first step people take. Is they're like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. I'm going to do my best today and then go to bed. But there's a more active and proactive approach you can actually take that will, I think, get you further toward your ideal state. And that is really more than just managing expectations. So that's the first step. But then once you master that, I think it's really important to prune the trees. In other words, identify the things in your life that are really important to you, not to-do lists, but and that's really what your priority is, right? Like, if I really want to be remembered as a great mom, that's true. I really want to be remembered as a great CEO, that's true. I really want, so like, you kind of identify the things that are really, really, really important to you, and then look at your calendar in your life and start to see, what buckets are you filling and what buckets are you, not filling, and recognize that the ones you're not filling are going to die, and so you have to, what you want to grow, you have to feed. So then you have to build essentially like a calendar that feeds each of these priorities. Now, another thing that's important in this exercise is removing the things that are not priorities. Maybe you like them though, but they're not priorities. And that's one of the things that's sometimes hard to do, right? Like, you know, you want to hang out with this person, but the truth is it's not that important to you. It's not that important today. So it's sort of like when I said pruning the trees, it's just as much like prioritizing the things that are important as it is removing the things that aren't. And then, you know, basically just being like ruthless about setting those boundaries, you know? So like I go to work every day, but only from 8:30 to 5. Like you will not find me working after 5 o'clock unless there's a fire or something like that, or a real emergency. Now from 8:30 to 5, I'm a freaking intense CEO. Like, I don't think anybody can even, you know, I don't even take a break to, you know,
I'm
look at
with
my
you.
phone. I mean, it's
I'm
really
with
intense.
you. I'm
Yeah.
with you. We live
But
the
then at
same.
5 o'clock, I try to like, you know, switch my brain, and then I'm like really dedicated to my kids. So yeah, maybe I only have my kids from 5 to 7 before they go to bed, but it's like really, I'm there. I'm 100% there. I'm not looking at my phone. And like, honestly, that life works for me, and that life works for us. I feel like I'm delivering on the two priorities that are most important to me right now, which is being a great mom and a great CEO. There's other things too, but it's really important you don't just take that first step, I think, which is managing your expectations. It's like there's that next step where you really need to take an active role in making sure that what, you know, you're representing what you feed grows and what you don't dies. It's really that simple.
Yeah, it is. And you do such a great job of balancing expectations. I love some of the key words just to point out to people. You talk of things as an act, and you also talk of it as a game. You're above the game in the respect of your values by always knowing what's important versus what's urgent. And you said, you know, unless it's a fire, a pending fire, meaning something that was very important, then you would then change your schedule, which is, you know, that routine is so important for me as well. Last thing real quick, Health Aid Kombucha. Let's get back to my favorite product there. A lot of people don't know about kombucha yet,
I
right?
know.
You're deep into it, and you know, we assume, like I assume in my content side, that everybody knows to say thank you when they go to bed and when they wake up. That'll change their life. And then I'll say that, and 50 people DM me going, "Oh my God, I started saying thank you. It changed my life." And I'm like,
Yeah.
what world am I living in? How do you not know kombucha? What are the healthy attributes of kombucha? We know it tastes great. We know your marketing's terrific. Your business is growing. I'm a huge fan. I got to get you as a judge on my new Bloomberg TV show. You'd be perfect. I'm looking for some strong women judges. So make sure Jakey Bakey, who got the wrong time, reaches out to you to have that conversation. But most importantly, what are the health benefits of what you're doing?
Yeah. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because actually 50% of people don't know what kombucha is. So yes, I mean, it's a lot. Okay, so kombucha is fermented tea. So just like yogurt is fermented milk, kombucha is fermented tea. It's vegan, and essentially though the same things develop in fermenting yogurt. It's got probiotics and healthy organic acids. So kombucha itself is actually a bubbly, little bit sweet, little bit vinegary drink. It doesn't really taste like tea at all. And it's rich in probiotics, which are really good for your gut. And then healthy organic acids, which are also really good for your gut, but actually beyond your gut. And the thing is, it doesn't really stop there, because people don't really know, not only do they not know what kombucha is, they don't know what gut health is. When we ask people about gut health, often they think digestion, or they think like, if I have like, you know, the two opposite spectrums of when that goes bad, that's when I, you know, should worry about my gut health. But actually the gut is so important in our whole health. It's actually thought to be the most important sort of function of our body. If our gut isn't healthy, nothing else is. So the more we explore gut health, and we've been exploring it a lot in the last 2 decades, we as a society, the more we recognize its impact. I mean, it impacts everything. It's now thought to be the number one contributor to our immunity, the number one contributor to our like muscle strength and capability, skin, hair, like, so overall beauty, mood. So now mood disorders are completely linked to your gut and its flora. So like, I mean, even if those of you who have babies out there, apparently moms who breastfeed that have more probiotics in their gut, their babies cry like 75% less. So there's a reason.
That's a great reason. Well, it's so
Yeah.
interesting because Eastern culture, which is a tea-oriented culture, of course, and for thousands and thousands of years, and I trace calligraphies, I study Eastern culture. I'm a Judah Buddha, ferocious Buddha. But for me, I don't know if you know this, but the gut was called the main Ming. It was the center of all, better than the heart, better than the mind. The main Ming, your existence, your core existence, your energy, your conscious exists in your gut. In ancient Eastern culture. So a healthy main Ming, a healthy conscious, of course, affects every part. We can't find outside of us what we can't find inside of us. And so let's make sure we put the best things inside of us. And Health Aid Kombucha obviously is one of those. And I'd love for the other 50% of the humans on earth to know that and to contact you and to find your product and to try your product. It's all over the place. Where's the best place that they can become educated and educate friends about Health Aid Kombucha?
Yeah, probably our website. So healthaid.com is where you can get educated. But really, we sell almost at all stores that you shop at, most grocery stores. But if you don't feel like leaving your house, which I get, you can go to healthaid.com. And we've got a probiotic kombucha, but we also have a prebiotic soda. So both are really important for gut health.
It's ADE, not AID, correct?
That's right. That's right.
Just want to clarify.
Yeah.
Do this a lot. Well, anyway, I look forward to talking to you soon. Please check out, at the very least, our new show, 2-Minute Drill. You'd be a great judge on it.
Cool.
A great company to be involved. Let me know. And most importantly, take care of those kids. You're an extraordinary entrepreneur and a very kind person. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, take care, guys. Thank
Better
you so
be
much.
faster than a year, I see you. Take care.
Okay.
Diana Trout,
Bye.
an extraordinary CEO and friend. Check out Health Aid Kombucha. Everybody needs to know and taste it. That's all. I love products that you can taste and be like, oh yeah, I'm in. That was like Elevate for me. There's another product that just I tried and I'm like, okay, this is changing my life. Health Aid Kombucha is one of those as well. Courtney, another great guest. And Jakey, 8:30, 8:25. What's going on? Are you perfect or not? Come on, buddy. I know you are. Here we go. One last question. We are going to have a free training in 2 hours and 12 minutes from now, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you've missed any trainings, there is a featured playlist on Spotify that you can check it out. It is featured on Entrepreneur. The playbook is featured on all platforms. You can use my own media. Check it out on YouTube and Instagram, everywhere. But if you want the guides, the books, the exercises for free, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I also, as I get this question, have a text community that everyone can join for free, 949-298-2905. Last question before we get to time management training today. Time management training, david@dmeltzer.com. For your agency, what percentage of your revenue do you spend on marketing? It varies. So this month, because of the election, I'm spending a very small percentage. 2 months ago, when I was leaning in, I spent more than I made on marketing. So determinative upon, I take inventory of my own values, personal experience of giving and receiving, but as a collective conscious, as a business, I take inventory of my values every single day. And then I figure out where to go from there. Remember, the way to get to where you want to go is find people that are there already and ask them for directions. And so I'm leveraging a lot of help out there, a lot of people that understand marketing in the different platforms, in-person marketing, on the phone marketing, email marketing, print, radio, TV marketing, billboard marketing, and of course, social media marketing. And it varies every single month what percentage I do. If you're not varying your marketing dollars, you're making a mistake, because that means that the world is equal and not changing. And the one thing I know is uncertainty exists every single day, and accelerated change does as well. All right, I got to get going, because in 2 hours and 10 minutes, I got a big training on time management, and everyone's going to join me there, or watch the replay on Spotify. You'll check it out on that special playlist featured there on Spotify. The playbook is featured on Spotify, Entrepreneur, and all platforms. Check it out. We love you for it. Anyway, most importantly, everyone, thank you so much, Craig, for bringing the energy and getting me up today. And thank you, Diana Trout, for such a great wisdom and experience of how to be an entrepreneur, a happy entrepreneur. You have it down pat. Remember, everybody, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I'll see you in 2 hours and 10 minutes at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m.